Good evening, everyone. I am Huma Sufyan. I'm Career Naksha and CCI Community Manager. I welcome Nitya Gopal, sir. Welcome, sir, and
Thank
thank you
you.
for your valuable time also.
Thank you.
Nitya Gopal, sir, is a monk, life, spiritual, and a wellness coach who is currently working as a operations head with India Heritage Foundation, New Jersey. He is a counselor, motivational speaker, guide for all age groups, corporate executive, and manager from past 10 years. He has an expertise in conducting live sessions and seminars both in India and in USA in top institutes such as IIT Delhi, IIT Roorkee, IIM Indore, NJIT, AIMS Delhi, and MNC such as Pfizer, Novartis, American Express, Global Pharma Tech, Coca-Cola, Anjana's consciousness, mindfulness, living a better and a happy life by bringing a holistic approach to life. Healing power of meditation. Very needed, sir. So, welcome. The whole show is yours, and we are looking for your experience that you are going to share with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Sophia, for my humble introduction. So very happy to be here amongst all of you, and very happy to share whatever we can with our experience, with our knowledge, whatever we can help it out. So what happened is almost a month back, when I was visiting India, it's almost 6 months back. So I visited my house, and when I was visiting my house, my mother was very excited to receive me, and she wanted to make a lot of dishes out of love for me. So she prepared a lot of stuff, and it was all cooking, it was in the cooker. So then what happened is, then I got a call from US. It was from Mr. Nanda, and he was talking about the recent gun violence what had occurred in the US. And we were discussing about that, and we were just discussing how to resolve this problem, what is the root cause of it, this and that. Then suddenly what happened, the cooker whistle start blowing up. And when the cooker start blowing up, it was kind of disturbing my conversation. So I asked him that, can you please switch off, can you please remove the this blower, can you please just keep it down. Then she went and just press it down. Then the the discussion continued. Then we were just kind of brainstorming what to do, what different strategy we can work with different senators in US here. Then again that whistle blow up. Then again I said, can you please just push it down because it's really disturbing me. Then my brother was sitting just next to me. He said, why don't you just put off the flame? So instead of keep pushing the whistle blower, can you just switch off the flame of the cooker itself? It was a very brownie moment for me. What we were discussing, that what is the root cause of all these issues what we are facing here in because of gun violence, how to go about that. And that was a very enlightening moment for me, that how just by putting the flame off we can actually uh, stop the whistle to blow. So welcome all of you. Today we'll be discussing that how does this make any relevance in our life, how putting on the flame and how this cooker analogy is functioning in our day-to-day experience, and how we can what's our current position. We'll be discussing about what's our current reality, what's our current position, and what are the different what problem do we face because of our position, and what possibility we may have, what we can implement in our day-to-day life, and what we have to propose to come across to kind of help you out in removing all those kind of difficulties. So we would like to start with a small concept of cognitive triangle. I know most of you have heard about this cognitive triangle, how our actions is driven by our feelings, and how our feelings are embedded thinking pattern. So our feelings carries a lot of thinking, carries a lot of information, and that feelings kind of pushes us to act in a certain way. So if we come back to this cooker example, what was happening in my house? So what happening is, if you see this whistleblower, this whistleblower is an action which comes out of the pressure which is building up in the cooker, right? And this pressure is building up in the cooker because of the flame which is running in behind it. Because of the flame, there's a constant pressure which is creating, and to release that pressure there's a whistleblower. Similarly, this whistleblower can be compared to the action what we do, to the reaction what we have of different situation, and kind of habits we develop over a period of time. This this example of a whistleblower is very much relevant because we act out in a spur of a moment. We say heat of a moment, and we know a lot of crime, a lot of action, a lot of things happen from us which we do not want to do. It is said in one of our reference scripture that there are certain forces which pushes us to act in a certain way in which we do not want to. I hope all of you would relate with me that there we come across different situation in our life wherein we just get pushed to act in a certain way, uh, even though I do not want to do it. So why it is so? Because there's a certain feeling behind it which is functioning, which are playing its role. And let's say if you act angrily, there is anger, emotions of anger which is running in us. If you speak in a harsh way, there's the emotions of being impelled to do little harm to that person is running in us. If you are able to speak in a softer way, in a sweet, in a sugary way, means there are a lot of positive emotions which is running in us. So our emotions pushes our action. But is it only emotions? No, it is not only emotions. It is the thinking, our belief system, which is getting condensed. We are heating up and we are thinking a lot about it. Those kind of when thinking keeps developing over a period of time, it takes the shape of feelings. So our thinking becomes our feelings. So feeling have lot of uh, thinking information embedded in that, so it pushes it in a certain way. So that is known as basic cognitive triangle. So thinking leads to feeling, and feeling leads to action. So it is not only single thinking which works here, like it's a complicated mash of many thinking pattern, and over a period of time these thinking pattern becomes our belief system. So for an example, different people would react in a different situation differently. For an example, if some boss is scolding somebody, let's say you are working in a company, there are two employees, and one uh, boss is giving feedback to both of them. You would see that both the employee would react differently to the situation. One may feel, oh, so horrible it is, now my boss is gonna judge me, he's gonna throw me out of the company, I am so bad, I'm so horrible, this and that. And he will become more anxious, he'll become more insecure, and accordingly he will react instead of responding to the situation, right? On the other hand, the other employee can take it up, oh, okay, I must have done something little wrong, but okay, I can always improve. I have the confidence I can improve what wrong I did, and I can just go ahead in my life. It's a way I can improve myself, right? It's a learning opportunity for me. So same situation can be a learning opportunity for one, and can be a source of great anxiety and great insecurity for other person. So what's the difference? It's how we are perceiving the situation. It's our belief system which is working behind the system. So now let us understand how do we develop these. So now we just discussed that our action is if it is to be controlled, it has to be controlled on a much more deeper level than only trying to push off this whistleblower. Because of that, we may have so many law which were enacted, which are enforced upon us physically to stop us doing certain things. But if our thinking pattern, our feeling regarding certain laws are not changed, these laws won't work. So externally imposing law upon a person is very inefficient way to trying to guide people in a disciplined way. Their entire feeling, their entire thinking has to be changed if it has to be changed. Because of that, we know, although we know, like raping somebody or murdering somebody is a heinous crime, you'll be behind bars, you'll be hanged till death, but still we do it. you know that's what. So let us try to understand how do we develop this belief system. So it is said that we develop this belief system because of association. It's a kind of a very relevant, very important point which I'm making here, that we make our belief system, we make our thinking pattern because of association. What does it mean? So we'll be discussing a cycle today. I hope I could share the presentation with you. Because of some technical issue I couldn't. But if you see, uh, all of us wants to be happy. The basic intrinsic force which we have in all of us is to be happy, is to be full of happiness, is to be full of pleasure, is to be full of living life full of excitement, right? That's a basic intrinsic force which we have in us. Now this basic intrinsic force of happiness, and different people can have different meaning of happiness. Somebody can think, oh, we can get happiness by traveling. We can have happiness, we can have happy moment by having good relationships. We can be happy by having a good career. We can be happy by earning a huge amount of money. So everybody can have different idea of happiness, and this idea of happiness is going to drive us, is going to motivate us, is going to inspire us to act in a certain way. That's why we are bringing this point of happiness out here. So now, uh, how do we know that from where did we get this idea of happiness? That how can we be happy? It comes with the association. What kind of people we are associating with? They will implant that idea of happiness in us. Let's say, for an instance, how a person becomes alcoholic. A person become alcoholic. He was never in a journey. Oh, now I'm going to become alcoholic. No, it's never like this. Because of association, somebody start drinking, somebody's enjoying the drinking, then that person will come in his presence and say, oh, so nice it is to drink like this. So once we see a live example that somebody is becoming happy by drinking a wine or by enjoying that smoking cigarette or whatever xyz, then what happens is we capture that energy, we capture that moment, and we see, yes, by smoking or by drinking wine I can become happy. You see, we borrow this idea, we purchase this idea from this person. We purchase this idea from this person because we were seeing that he's becoming so happy experiencing this, these moments. So by associating with that person, we develop a belief. Oh, this is what is going to make me happy. And when we develop this belief, we start desiring for that. Now desire comes. Oh, I want this now. So from where desire came? Desire came because we wanted that thing, and we wanted that thing because we thought that is going to make me happy because of my association, right? So now once I desire something, what happens? There'll be a loop now which will be working upon. Desiring something, then you start hoping for that. Oh, I want it. How can I get it? I'm so hopeful, one day I will be able to get it. Or let's say somebody desire that, somebody put a belief system in us that you can be happy by becoming a big CEO of a company. That's the belief system. Then he'll start hoping, oh, when I'll become CEO of a company, well, I'll go into this and I'll do that, right? So when you start hoping, you start slowly capturing that. You start chasing it, because now I hope that is going to give me happiness. Now we start working for this, right? We start developing a resume like this. We start getting more experience. We start, whatever it takes to become CEO of a company. Chasing this, start working upon that, and we start chasing it. At one point of time, you're able to capture it. Yes, I've found it. After 20 years of experience, after 20 years of working hard, finally I could get it. You see, now we are capturing it. And then once we capture it, we start indulging into it. Indulging into it means when you have this position of a CEO, then you start behaving in a certain way. As a CEO, you start meeting a lot of people, start giving a lot of command, you start conducting a lot of meetings, you start guiding the whole company like this. Then you start experiencing that happiness. You see, this entire loop, starting from our association, it gives us a belief system which forces us to desire in a certain way, and which kind of uh, which makes us very hopeful about a situation, and then we start chasing it, then we capture it, and when we indulge into it. So it is one cycle, positive cycle. We also have a negative cycle. What is negative cycle? So there are certain things which we want in our life. Happiness which drives us, the certain thing which we want in our life is driven by happiness. But there is happiness and pain, right? So we always not only wants to seek happiness, we also wants to avoid pain, right? So then we understand how to avoid pain. We want a positive thing as we want to avoid negative thing. A person will, now again, because of association, a person will know, okay, if you avoid these things are horrible in life. If you have to, if you want to avoid conflict, you should not do this. Then instead of desire, it will be hate. I'll be hating this, I don't want this, because I don't want to be put in an uncomfortable situation. In this example what I just gave of an employee, somebody was hating that situation because it's so horrible to be put into a spotlight of being judged, right? I hate it. And once you hate it, you start becoming fearful of it. You start developing fear of it, right? And when you become fearful of it, you start running away from that situation. Instead of chasing it, you start running away. And you don't want to be put on that spotlight. So we want to have certain thing in our life, and we want to avoid certain thing in our life. And that's all developed because of association. So again, there's no black and white. It's always a gray area. Whether it is really happy giving situation, whether it is really distress giving situation. Nothing is 0-1 in this world. So now, having understood the a phenomena what we just discussed, a very more of a psychological phenomena, let us go into how these cycle, how this loop of desiring something, hoping something, and this entire loop, how it get installed in our brain. Because it is said that according to neuroscience, our brain is the most plastic in nature. It is so plastic that it can keep on developing a lot of neuron pathways, and it can destroy a lot of neuron pathways. Many millions and zillions and trillions of neuron pathways can be created in our brain, and it is brain which is responsible to push us in a certain way, because all the signals which comes in our body, let's say I want to lift my hand, the signal comes from brain. If I want to speak in a certain way, the signal comes from the brain. I want to see certain things, the signal comes from the brain. So in that sense, the brain becomes the central theme of my entire biological system. So means if that thinking, it has to come in my action, it has to be through my brain, right? So this brain becomes like a interface for me to act in a certain way through my thinking process. So how does this thinking get installed? How does this belief get installed in our brain? Is very interesting to know. It is said that uh, when we when we think something first time, let's say first time we desire that, oh, it is going to make me happy, and you goes through this loop. You desire something, you hope for that thing, and you start capturing it, you start indulging it, you start chasing it, right? This entire cycle. So what happens is, the moment you run on this path, because our brain is such thing where if you're behaving in a certain way, it captures all those information, it imprints into it, because whatever experience we go through, it's all get recorded, right? So if it is getting recorded, where it is getting recorded, it is getting recorded in our mind, and it is having its biological imprints in our brain. So first time when we started this thing, so neuron pathways start forming because of that, because of the cycle which we went through, and we were able to capture this, or we were able to avoid that. So we when those neuron pathways get created, first time when we started this journey of doing any action for that matter, slowly it becomes habit, slowly it becomes our personality, slowly it becomes our character as a different thing. But we are just working on how does it form first time, how does that action came about first time in my life. That's the most important thing, because from there we can get a clue how to break it, right? So because it was functioning in my in it was the first time the neural circuit got formed. Now each and every step, let's say the step of believing, now the neuron pathways will have different section of it. Now the section of giving you happiness because of believing that, oh, now I found it, how can I be happy? That is a very happy moment, right? To be able to find out how I can be happy, itself is the greatest happiness. So that happiness, how do we experience? So when we develop that belief, our brain releases some chemicals in the body, excitement chemical, dopamine, and we, oh wow, yes, now I'm gonna get it, right? So with that, with that belief, you start desiring for that. Now I'm hoping one day, now hope chemical will get released. Tuck, one drop, two drop, you will feel very hopeful, very desirable. Yes, I want to achieve it. It will inspire you, it will motivate you, right? So now it will go to the point of, from hoping it will go to the point of chasing it. Now when you're chasing it, mind you, you're also experiencing happiness when you're chasing it. Let's say I come to know that I'm gonna watch a movie, very interesting movie. It is not that's only when you see the movie you become happy. The moment it is planned, from that very moment you start experience some sort of happiness, right? When you're driving through, and when you're about to reach the theater, you start experiencing happiness. When you purchase ticket, even more happy. When you sit, then it's a pinnacle of happiness, right? So means our brain is active in each and every cycle of this pattern what we are developing, right? So our brain is releasing those chemicals and it is getting formed. And now every first time it is formed, right? But every time we go through same circuit, it becomes more deeper. And when it become more deeper, at every time it releases certain chemicals in the body. It gives us some sort of emotional kick. So that's how the thinking, which is creating that in the mind, which in the brain, those neuron circuit which is getting formed because of thinking, is leading to feelings, is leading to those emotional experiences. So I hope you're able to get what I'm trying to say. So it is also, uh, then what happens, it also helps us in making memories of those events, because first time when you did that, you did not have any memory, you didn't know how it will be experienced, because it was a flat experience for you, in the sense that it was a fresh experience for you. It's a new experience for you. So when it was a new experience for you, you did not have any idea how it is going to be like, right? But once you first time had this experience, you know how it is going to be like, and you have captured those memories, you have captured that emotions, you have captured that feeling what you was going through, right? So first time when you went through that experience, it may be good, it may be bad. So first experience, our attention get drawn toward that, because of the happy experience what we are going through, because of the excitement which you are going through, and your brain captures those moments, and it get registered as our memories. So that is why we forms memories, right? Formation of memories. Many times something happen in your life which we cannot forget. Why we cannot forget? Because those are very deeply imprinted in you, and those point of time you was just about to do whatever it takes you to be there, be present there. And more we are present there, more our energy is invested, more we just get drawn toward that, right? So having understood that how memory is getting formed, how it is in a future going to drive my emotions, going to drive my actions, going to make me put into different situation, that's very important piece of it. And now, so we not only form the, so now having understood that our in something happens in the brain, and the chemical feedback in our body experience that as emotions. So what is stored? The thinking is stored, the belief system is stored regarding this movement, regarding that particular habit which we form, or the action, the how we react in a certain way. Its thinking component is there, is emotional component get registered in our body because we feel those chemical release. Its memory component is stored, and this memory component is very powerful. Why? Because we as a human being has a power to keep reliving the moment. What did I just say? We as a human being has a very very special power by which we can relive the moment, in the sense that, just a small exercise for all of you. We can just close our eyes for 2 minutes, and we can just imagine the most exciting, most happy moment in our life. We can close our eyes, we can go back to the moments. What was the most happiest moment in your life? You can just go into the detailing of it. What I was wearing, what was my surrounding like, what I was seeing, what kind of sound was coming, what was my feeling like. It may be a marriage ceremony, it may be like first time you're meeting your partner, it may be first time you're getting a job, it may be any of those special moments. Just try to be absorbed in those moments, feel it, and just get absorbed into it. So all of you must be feeling that happiness again. If it was a very lovely moment, you would be feeling love again. If somebody was there to hug you, somebody was there to give you some gifts, you was feeling that sort of grateful energies. So you see, although that incidents had happened long back, but now also we have a power to relive those moments, and our brain has those particular pathways created for that particular incident, and it has its own chemical feedback, and because of memory we could access it. And we can also, we can, although this is not happening now, but still we can have same experience if we do it more properly, if we do it more deeply. You can experience same emotions, same feeling, same thinking, same sort of experience as you were doing that point of time. If it is good for, if it holds good for our good experiences, it also holds good for our not so good experiences. It also holds good for our traumas. It also holds good for our fears. Like all those fears comes from where? Comes from these different incidents what might have happened with us in our lives. So if it holds good for our good experiences and if it holds good for our bad experiences, don't we think that whatever we do now, some sort of filter, some sort of prejudices, some sort of past experiences will be gonna be my filter? How do we perceive things now? Isn't it? Yes, it really does. So does it remain only on the platform of emotions, memories, or thinking? No, it goes much more beyond that. Where does it go? It also forms my energy. Very interesting phenomena. So what's happening here is, if you see the neuron when it gets fired, when we do certain things, let's say it is also known as thinking feeling loop. You think of certain bad things, certain good thing which happened in you, in your life, you will start feeling good. When you start feeling good, those thinking becomes more intense because now you're experiencing it. One small thought came, it releases it, it made you experience certain feelings, and those feeling again will push those kind of ideas more, those kind of thinking more, and again it will go into more intensely experiencing those moments. So even one thought have a power to make our life miserable or make us very happy. Even some simple idea or some small innocent action of somebody can put us into a very happy situation, can put us into a very disturbed situation. So that is what just wanted to discuss about how thinking feeling loop starts. So this idea can also be implemented. Let's say when we just get up in the morning, when we just get up in the morning, and now you are so fresh and you just get up, it was a fresh day for you. But the moment I start seeing my WhatsApp, I start seeing my emails, I start seeing all my messages, what happens? It is triggering some sort of thinking in you. When it is triggering some sort of thinking in you, you're gonna experiencing those emotions associated with that. The emotions of being judged when it is from a boss, the experience of being incompetent when it is a experience of insecurity, when it is through some Facebook feed or somebody is dislike your post, somebody is liking your post. A sense of insecurity comes. Oh, this person's news feed is going up, mine is going down, this and that. What is going on here? And the feeling of being unloved when some ex of yours, you see her picture or his picture. The emotions of being judged, emotions of being incompetent, emotions of being insecure, emotions of being anxious, emotions of being, I'm not good. All this start thing running in you, and before even your day started, you have lived your entire day. Now I'll go to my office, my boss will judge me, he will say this to me, blah 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 blah. It just continues in our life. You see how things are, even simple as slightest thought, how it can really define our complete day. So now, having understood these basic concepts, now let us move on to the more of an energy aspect of it. So what happens is, each the thought which we just ran through, the anxious thought or the depressing thought or the happy thought or the exciting thought, that gets formed in the our neural circuit, right? So it also have a associated electric charge along with it, because ultimately it's neuron, right? Neuron is getting fired, because once the neuron get fired to start the circuit, is an electric charge which comes along with it. Actually, it comes along with it. You can sing, if you have a proper instrument, you can see that how the electric charge is varying based upon my certain thinking process. So electric charge is there. Now it will also have its magnetic component, because the chemicals which get released, the feedback what it gives to my body, and it is been experienced as emotions, it has a magnetic field around it. So our thinking will have the electric charge, and our feeling will have a magnetic charge. It becomes electromagnetic charge. It become a electromagnetic field around that particular incidence, or around that particular part of my personality, around that particular incidence. So every uh, incidence, every person, you have associated energy with that. And if you keep on running, keep on reliving those moments, reliving those, keep on meeting those person and having same very bad thought about that person, your energy becomes very low, because it is said that the frequency of that energy matters how my energy, my whole spirit is going to be. If the frequency of that energy is low, means we are resonating in our lower emotions. We're resonating in the emotions of judgment. We're running in the emotions of being uh, unloved, ungrateful, vengeance, angry, you know, uh, you know, irritated, depressed, frustrated. All these emotions are in a very low frequency range, and it and people can read the energy, right? Sometimes when we feel low, when we, or let's say you would have experienced that. I don't know how many of you could experience that. If you meet a person who is very energetic, and you come in that person's surrounding, you feel very uplifted. And when you go and meet somebody like a patient or like a disturb, and many of you are psychologists and many counselors, you would see a person who is very low morale and low, demotivated and very depressed. You can sense that very low energy around that person, and you also feel that. And all the more who are more attuned that energy, they feel even more of it. You see how my whole personality is, even it has its own biological component, how my biology get formed because of that. That we'll discuss in different part of it. So now, having understood that how my whole personality is getting defined by my association, by this entire process, and that is my current position. Sometimes I may have good experiences, sometimes I may have bad experiences, but this part of me is always. So if we are not careful, if we are not watchful, then what can happen? It can have very negative impact on our health, because it is said that, let us also cover this point, that sometime is a more of a biological phenomena. What happens when you perceive any danger? When we perceive any danger, our mind and body perceive it as a threat, and the moment our brain, our mind perceives that as a threat, we goes into a flight and fight mode. Many of you would be aware of it. Flighting and fighting mode. Either we just want to run away from it, or we just want to fight the situation. And to be able to run, to be able to fight for the situation, you need some special energy. Now impulsively you have to do certain things. Your senses has to become very heightened. You have to be in a very heightened state of, very excited state of being able to handle with this. So our brain, anytime it experiences any situation as threat and being fearful of it, we goes into a flight and fight mode. And in that, what happens is our subconscious minds get shut, and our all the energies just runs in our active senses. So there are some function of my biological which is very conscious, and there are some function which is very unconscious. and that moment my conscious functions becomes more active. Like I would see each and every detail of it. I can hear from where what is coming. I can smell small very. I will become very sensitive to my conscious senses. So, but what happens in this? It is a phenomena which is being embedded in our system for good. But if we continue using this for every situation, and every situation we keep our system in a fighting and fighting mode, then what happens? It is sucking my energy, which is supposed to be taking care of my overall good health. Because the energy which takes care of the unconscious phenomena of my body, let's say I'm breathing now. Many times I'm not conscious I'm breathing. My liver is functioning. Many times I'm not very keen how my liver is functioning. When I eat food, I just digest the stuff. I don't know how it is happening, right? So many part of my many functions of my biological system, like kidney function and many of these functions, is unconscious, and many of this is conscious. So one part of my energy is utilized to take care of my well-being, overall well-being, and to maintain and to keep on rejuvenating my unconscious activities, and one part of my is for my conscious activities. If a person is always on a conscious go and always in a fighting and fighting mode, then all those energies which is supposed to be taking care of my health is getting sucked up. I'm siphoning that energy from there. And how can we expect a good health if we are not giving a proper healing energy to our system? If you're always in a fighting and fighting mode. See, a kind of competition which we go through, we being judged, we feel that hatred when we see any enemy, we feel very insecure, we feel very angry, and we feel guilty about some things. So what's happening is we are reacting all the time, and we are always in a lower level of energies, which is never going to help us. So that's our current situation, and all of us face that. It is also gonna impact your relationship, because a smallest trigger from other person, very innocent remark from somebody else, can trigger a whole lot of pain in you, and relationship suffers. And we just know how being not being able to control our emotions, not being able to take care of our own needs and everything, we just don't cannot have a healthy relationships. We suffer in our professional lives. So we suffer in our finances because we have that source of insecurity. Some people just keep on earning money and they don't feel fulfillment, and they just never feel complete in earning money. They get so busy in earning money sometime that they don't even use money which they have earned. They don't even enjoy that. Why? Because they feel always there's a sense of lack. I have to just keep feeling that lack, that psychological lack. And they say, I cannot experience, I cannot become happy. So what's happening is I'm working hard to get the money, but I'm not able to work you properly utilize the money which I'm earning. So see, there are many angles to it. We can just keep on discussing different aspect of it. It's a different subject matter altogether. So that's our current position. Our current position is that we have to really understand what's going on here. So now, if you see the whole problem, okay, this is there. The the formation is it has taken place. But how do we understand it now? What's the real problem? The real problem, if you see, is my management of my attention. Because we are giving attention to one part of me, that's why it is becoming activated, and we are not giving attention to the good part of me, that's why it's not becoming activated. The power of reliving. So what is happening there when you relive the moments? I'm sorry, what happening there, you're giving your attention there. When I just did this exercise, I asked you to relive those moments. What did you do? You just shifted your attention from me to that moments in that part of your life. So it is all about how I am managing my attention. It is said that the wherever we throw our attention, we shine in that area. So if we are throwing our attention in not good part of me, that part of me will shine. In the sense that it shine negatively. It's not shine, it will degrade you, it will damp your reality. If you're throwing attention in good part of me, that part of it will shine. For an example, if we have uh, sunshine, it's like sunshine. Attention is like a sunshine. Wherever it goes, it grows that area, good or bad. If there are some cactus seed, it will grow that cactus seed also. If it has a flower seeds, it will grow flower seed also. Same sunshine can give birth to cactus tree, can give birth to. I know there are a lot of phenomena happening, but it's an immediate thing. If there is no sunshine, it won't grow properly, right? We know that. So if you throw sunshine on a good seed, good seed also will grow. Same sunshine if it's thrown on a bad seed, that also will grow. Now it's upon us. So now we cannot play the role of victim. Oh, because of these things happened to me and I'm just helpless, I cannot do anything of it, and it just formed in my memory. My energy is like this, my brain is like this, my thinking process like this. What do I do? I'm out of control. So no, we are not out of control. We can still take responsibility. We can change our personality by properly managing our attention. And many people know that how powerful attention is, because the biggest of business is running in this world is only by selling or by purchasing your attention. What is YouTube? What is Facebook? What is Twitter? What is Google? What are they doing? They're earning crores and crores of billions and billions of dollars by by giving everything free of cost. Google is free, Gmail is free, Facebook is free, Twitter is free, nobody, WhatsApp is free, nobody charge. But how they are becoming the richest of the people? They are purchasing your attention. We get hooked on to certain things. Attention. They're capturing your attention. And once they capture your attention sufficiently at one platform, that becomes a platform of selling so many things to you and giving so many ideas into your mind. Advertisement, the big industry. You see how by not properly utilizing our attention, we can really be putting ourselves into a difficult situation, and how by properly utilizing our attention, we can heal ourselves, we can grow ourselves. That's a power of mindfulness. What does mindfulness teaches us? It teaches us to be in the present. If we keep on throwing our attention to the past or to the future, we will always be into those negative traumatic situations. We'll be just keep on worrying about the past, what didn't work out for me, and we'll be just thinking about the future. How can I make it right? We'll be keep on projecting our own past onto the future and try to resolve it in the present, which is not possible. You see how by slowly I'm going to the topic of meditation, right? So we just getting a glimpse of it, how by managing our attention we can shift our energy, we can shift everything to the present moment, and we can still be very grateful in a midst of great calamities. Even though situation may not be very favorable, but if we become very grateful, if we throw the attention to the good thing which is it is giving to me, I'll not feel that being in a reactive mode. I'll not be in a fighting and flighting mode. I can be centered to my own self. I can respond properly. I can take care of the situation much more better way than I could do otherwise, right? So by managing our attention, it's so crucial to be able to work upon that. And now the whole point is our energy is sacked there. Our energy is sacked where? Our energy is sacked in the past, uh, in those remorseful emotions, in those what we just discussed. You can just take it as small packets. So each situation have one packet, each person has one packet, so our energy is stuck in those packets. And whole process of rejuvenating myself, the whole process of transformation, the whole process of being able to grow in my life is to release those energy from those packet and free that energy of mine. Because if you don't do that, then it will keep on, you will keep on feeling that it is me only, because it is yours, one part of you is stuck there, and it will keep on sucking energy from your present also. It has not only sucked your energy in the past, it is also gonna take all your energy from the present, because if it's resonating with your energy, it's not relieved, right? So the whole power of meditation is that it helps us releasing those energy from there. It kind of shrink all those circuit, it uplift my energy. We move from the lower energy level, which is like remorseful, competitive, grudgefulness, and anger, and being feel victim, to the more positive side of emotions, like being inspired, motivated, grateful, loving, kind, compassion, forgiving, not vengeanceful, these kind of things. So in a deep meditation, what happens is we're moving from a state which is technically known as gamma state, beyond gamma state. Because what happens is our brain is resonating in that frequency, and the scientists are given different energy frequency to that, bandwidth, different energy bandwidth to that. It is said that the beta frequency, which if it is lower of beta energy you're resonating in, you'll be more peaceful, you'll be more quiet, you can do normal things, and you can be little more observant what's happening around you. If you come in the mid range of beta energy, it will be more of a good stress. Oh, now you're a little active and you can do things and you can execute things properly. If it becomes higher, it becomes hyperactive. You come in a flighting and fighting mode. The higher energy of and higher frequency level of beta waves. Then it becomes to alpha. Alpha means it's more of a peaceful, quiet, and kind of daydreamy, and you can be peaceful. You can be thinking of good things in your life. Your brain is resonating in that energy. And gamma state is a point wherein we resonate in a higher frequency, in a deep frequency, wherein there is a possible is a state basically wherein you are not leaving your past and you're not worried about your future. And when we go deep into the meditation, we can actually access to that higher self. We can access to that energy of my own self. I'm connecting to my own deeper instinct. I'm connecting to my own deeper source, which is very much spiritual in nature. Then what happens? I'm liberating all my energies from all those packets which is resonating in the higher lower energy platform, and I'm on the higher platform and higher level of energy, being in a meditative state. Then you would see how the slowly those, when we don't use certain things, it just crashes down. Why still we have the same emotions? Because we have been continue using that. Why still we have those circuit in the brain, corresponding emotion and corresponding energy and biological feedback? Because we are using that. The moment we start stopping it, stop using it, then what happens is slowly fades away. If you don't do things for a long period of time, you stop forgetting. Memories keep fading away. So when we have sufficiently worked upon ourselves, when we have sufficiently worked upon our own inner self to be able to liberate all those energies, you will see how your energy will come back to you. You'll feel much more empowered, you'll feel much more energized, and you can basically create your own future now. You're not you're not allowing your past to impact your future anymore. At the present moment, you can decide where you want to throw your attention, and then you can uh, consciously decide what is good for you. We have made our personality in a very unconscious way, but by being in deep meditation, we can be more conscious. We can shrink all those different biological feedback, emotional feedback, all those energy feedback, and then we can create our own new energy. We can create our own new spirited source. We can be much more conscious to be able to change our reality, not projecting our past. There's a power of meditation. It can just liberate us from those situations. There's a great possibility, it lies around us in our life. So we can take responsibility by by taking the charge of our attention, and we can use the same attention to go deep into the meditation, and we can change ourselves. And there are different source of different kinds of meditation which are available, as we all know. Different people do different kinds of meditation. What I have been experiencing and what I have found in my own personal practice, that sound meditation works the best, because sound has a lot of energy in them, and it minds you. It is all starting from thinking, which is converting into energy, what we just discussed, the whole process. And if the energy contains a lot of embedded thinking, so the sound contains energy. The sound does contains energy. Like what we are discussing now, you'll be feeling a lot of information is passing on, right? How we are connected? We are connected through sound. The whole telecommunication today is all about sound. It's all about how do we uh, flow the sound from one place to another place, how the sound waves travels, because sound is carrying a lot of energy into it. And it is said if somebody speaks very lovingly to you can feel that loving energy into that sound. If somebody speaks very with a lot of motivation, you can feel that motivation. When somebody speaks very with you very harshly, very angrily, you can feel that emotions of being judged and being thrashed. So different speech can make us feel different emotions, right? Why is it so? Because the sound carries energy. Is a very important point, that sound carries energy. So if it carries energy, it also carries all those information what we need to change our life. We need guidance, right? To how to move, how to maneuver through our different situation. And that information we need, that guidance we need, that will come from sound. And the sound which resonates in the highest platform, is resonates from the highest frequency, is a mantra, known as mantra, technically known as mantras. When we chant those mantras, when we do the mantra meditation, it has a lot of embedded energy in them. And when we gain that energy, we absorb that energy into us. It has all the power, it has all the energy, it has all the guiding information, it has all the positive emotions which flows through it, and we absorb that, and that becomes the greatest type of meditation a person can perform. So with this bit of understanding, we'll conclude here. We just discussed what's our present situation, how unconsciously we have formed our system, and how by managing our attention we can recreate our reality. And that is very much assisted by the power of meditation. And the sound meditation is one of the best form of meditation which is existing at this point of time. So with this, we'll conclude. If I think somebody have any doubts, any questions, maybe we can discuss more. If anybody have any doubts, any questions, what we just discussed, we can just take a few questions before we conclude today.
Sir, it was very nice. Each and every word was so perfect. The power of positive relief exercise is very much applicable. Thank you for sharing your experience in a simple way. Vaishali Nair is saying this.
Thank you very much, Vaishali. You can try to
Yes.
implement this in your life.
So, thank you for your valuable time, and it was so insightful, sir. Each and every word from the pressure cooker to the last moment. I was like, कि कैसे like how this time goes up. I'm thinking like it's just of seconds video. So, sir, it was very insightful. The power of meditation is really very helpful to everybody. They must work on it. Okay, sir. Thank you for your valuable time.
So yeah, I just wanted to mention that we have many such workshop, and we'll be conducting the workshop on forgiveness. We'll be conducting workshop on fortitude of forgiveness, how we can practically implement one part of it in our forgive process. That will be coming up soon. If anybody wants to connect with me, they can always go to my LinkedIn profile, Nitya Gopal Das. They can search and they can find me there. We can connect from there if
Okay.
you have any doubts, any questions later on.
Right, sir. Thank you for the information too.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Take care.